Preston, so excited to have you here today.
It's an honor to be here.
Dude, it's an honor to have you.
Thank you.
Preston, for people who don't know you, I'm going to just give a little context, a little background. Preston, if you don't know him, then you got to get to know him, because if you know him, you love him. Preston's been working at the Grit for, what is this, 5 years now?
Yeah, 5 full years going on year 6.
5 full years. And just a workhorse. I mean, this guy's in the office grinding more than anyone else. More important than actually, I think, anything is what people say about you actually is like super inspiring. And in talking to people who know you really, really well, they're always like almost in tears when speaking about the leadership that you're able to provide people. And I think most of that is actually, I know you put in a lot of work in the off season and you build culture and you do all that. I feel like a lot of it is actually like the morning meetings or before the doors, or even to the pinpoint detail of when reps arrive to market, what do you have ready for them? So like everybody knows you get to market, you have this story in your head of what the summer's going to look like. Maybe you're super nervous, maybe you're super excited. I think that you're probably one of the best in the whole industry at creating a story and maybe like ruffling feathers and shaking up what people thought their story was going to be and creating it into a like greater good story. Mm-hmm. So dude, talk to us, like before the very first door, before guys show up for the summer, it's the off season and they're listening to this, or maybe they just got out there and they're trying to get in their flow. Like what is most sacred to you as a leader to make sure that your reps start off on the right foot?
Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of things, and we could go, I feel like, so many different routes when talking about this, but something that like specifically comes to mind, I meet with so many reps before we arrive in market, before we even get out there, and they're like, dude, I really think that I could sell X amount of accounts.
Yeah.
Whether it's 150K or 200K, and I'm talking to these reps, and I'm like, this rep has no idea, like, he can't see his full potential in himself or herself, and I'm like, they are capable of so much more than they can realize right now, and if I'm not the person to help them see what's actually possible, what their actual potential is, who's like gonna do it? Because if it's not me, I don't know who else will. And I think that's one of the most important things is like talking to these reps, and it's like, dude, you have the potential to be one of the top rookies in the company. Like, oh, dude, you've seen your friend go out and crush. There's no reason that you can't also go out and crush. Like, why would you set the bar low? Like, I believe in you. I think that's something that like maybe sets myself apart, or even the Grit apart from other companies.
Yeah. Well, dude, let's dive into that. Like, dude, you have so much belief in your people. And to be honest, some of these people you've hardly even met.
Yeah.
And you just have so much belief in these guys. Like, and it's the crazy part is you're not actually lying. Like you're being totally honest when you see it in people and you believe in them. Where did you was belief something you've always had? Like, have you always seen the greater good in people, or is that something that you like learned along the way?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. Honestly, like I can't say that I grew up and I was like the most confident person. I didn't have like the most belief in myself. Came home from my mission, never thought I would sell. Yeah. I get recruited to go out and sell, and I mean, I was 20 years old, and again, like I didn't have tons of belief and tons of confidence in myself, and I saw the impact that whether it was Zach Seeger or Michael Green or John Taylor or Garth Massey or Drew or any of these leaders, like they just believed so much in myself, and they talked to me about it so much that eventually I just started to believe in myself because so many other people believed in me. And I just saw that impact, that having a leader that believed in me at that time has changed my life forever. And so, yeah, like I think it's important that I can go and provide that for my reps as well.
Yeah, no, that's special. And I would say this whole podcast is experts talking to experts. I would say that you are an expert in your field of, story narration and creation. But part of storytelling is just the belief. 90% of what we're thinking on any given day is inherently negative, and you somehow find a way to shake it up and make that upside down.
Yeah.
And instill belief in others. Like, when did you figure out or, put your finger on the fact that a really good story is actually one of the more important things of this job?
Yeah, I mean, Tony Robbins always talks about it, like the story that you tell yourself is true. And I can't say I always understood what that actually meant, but there's always this story and there's this voice that's being played in our heads, like, I'm not enough, I'm not like that person, I'm not possible of accomplishing something that good, and just there's so many stories going through our heads. And I think the first time I saw this really in the summer, I was out in Portland managing, and we were teaching our reps to like go yard. And it was one of the first times that summer we were teaching our reps to try to get the customer off the porch and get into their backyard. Your odds of selling them are so much higher. And that's something I believe to my core.
Yeah.
If you go in someone's backyard, your odds of selling them
totally. And you're no slouch. You've sold a lot.
Yeah.
You've sold a lot. You're no slouch, so you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, I've just seen whether it was like the elite reps that I had worked with, whether it was Corbin or Bo, like they all believed in that. So I remember we did this competition. Instead of like a throwdown Thursday, we broke the team into 2. And instead of like competing accounts versus accounts, it's early in the summer, right? I don't want to focus on accounts. I want to focus on something that's more in their control, like getting in someone's backyard. Yeah. So we did this competition, broke them into 2 teams, like Fortnite, red versus blue.
Love that.
And every time that they sent a yard picture in, they'd get a certain amount of points. And then if they got the deal in the backyard, they got more points. And we had this team of like 70 reps, and I didn't realize like how hard it would be to track all of these points.
Yeah, sure.
And sure enough, you had rookies that had been out there for 2 weeks, no account sold. All of a sudden, they start focusing on going yard, and they told themselves like, wow, if I go in yard, Preston told me I'll sell. And then you start seeing these reps that had no production, no accounts under their belt, they just like start selling. Or these reps that don't have tons of confidence in their ability, and then they just start selling really well. And it's like, I'm like, wow. All I said was if you go yard, you will sell better. And whether that's true or not, they told themselves that, and then it actually worked.
Yeah, the story they told themselves became their truth. And like 70 reps is a lot.
For sure.
You've always ran pretty big teams.
Yeah.
Like you can't do it alone.
No.
Obviously. And you know that probably better than anyone. You've had some amazing reps on your team. To name a few, Corbin Hansen was on it wasn't maybe your first team, maybe your second team.
Yeah, I was helping co-manage the first team he was ever on, and then that next year he sold 1.3. We were in Indy. I was running that team, and came to Portland with me the next year. Yeah.
And you have Bo Barbin, Farrell Dean. You've had so many elite players. How important is it to get buy-in from like your pillar reps or your vets? Like, and I guess how do you go about getting buy-in from those guys? Because I feel like most people who are listening to this, they started with maybe 30 to 40 guys, and now they're already down to like 15.
Yeah.
And, you know, the core guys maybe have started to lose belief or lose faith in like these stories that they've heard their manager say year after year after year. Mm-hmm. Like, how important is it to get buy-in from those like pillar reps, and how much of an impact is it to have those guys push the narrative that you create?
Yeah, it's like the most important thing. You can't go out and run a team by yourself. It's like literally impossible without other leaders and them buying into the team. You will never have the same result. And I think a way that I've tried to do that is helping my core leaders and core reps just understand that like I don't own 100% of this team. Like, you own a large stake, and they feel like they have ownership in this team. And I feel like I also just try to help my core leaders show, like, the impact that they can have on the team.
Yeah, that's massive.
And I feel like I would do that a lot with, like, Jacob Griffith this last summer in Cleveland. I'm like, hey, dude, you trained on switchovers today, or you trained on this. And, like, dude, look at the impact that you had. These kids hadn't been switching over tons of accounts, and, dude, now these rookies are switching over tons of accounts. Like, that's not because of me. That's because of you. And I think that's something that excites the leaders. Like, they want to be part of something, and they want to have ownership in the team.
Dude, you're so intentional in the way that you like think about the stories and the conversations that you have. And I feel like every time I speak with you, or, you know, I meet with someone who has spoken with you, they always walk out of that conversation feeling like they actually were the ones that made a difference. When I feel like one of your strong suits, and maybe I think this is a really great thing, is making other people believe, like, not only in themselves, but in the fact that, like, dude, they are in charge. Because I'd say most stories that people tell themselves are, like, maybe not the greatest stories. I guess for you, what stories have you seen people tell themselves that starts them down, like, the slippery slope? And how do you save them?
Yeah, there's so many crazy stories that come to mind, but you hear it all. It's like, dude, I just got dropped in a neighborhood with, like, all of the rude people. I just got dropped in a neighborhood in Oregon, and it's literally happens to be like the rudest neighborhood in Oregon.
Everyone in the whole neighborhood is just inherently like they knew I was coming, and they were ready to be
they
mean.
Don't like me. Like literally everyone. It's crazy. Or hey, like nobody's answering the door.
Yeah.
Or it's like you just hear it. It's like, oh, dude, I can't sell like I did last month or last year or all the things. Yeah, I mean, even a story. I remember Bo Barbin called me in Portland. It's June. He had just crossed the 400K mark. And he called me one day and he's like, dude, I don't know what's going on. Like, I feel like I can't sell pest control anymore. And it's so funny, like, saying that story because he's 400K deep into the summer.
Yeah.
It's not even July.
Yeah.
And it's like, he was telling him he was telling himself, I can't sell pest control anymore. And yeah, you hear it all, and it's just so important to, like, again, if Bo would have just kept telling himself that story, like, it would actually become true.
So how do you shake that story? Like, because here's we'll do a little role play. This is typically what a manager sounds like.
Yeah.
Ring, 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 and they're like, hey, dude, I'm really struggling. Like, I feel like I cannot sell anybody. And and then the manager goes, dude, you got this. One more door. Get after it. Like, you know what you need to do. You're good at this job. You got this. Like, I have a feeling that's probably not how the conversations go with you.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like, how does that conversation go with you when Bo calls and he's pacing to do what he did, which is 800K that summer.
Yeah.
And he's faltering in his belief. How does that conversation go?
Yeah, I think it's just really understanding your role as a leader. It just took me time to, like, learn this. Like, I remember, like, one of the first teams I'm ever managing, someone calls me and, like, dude, I just got dropped in a neighborhood with, like, all the rude people. I'm like, well, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, that's crazy. I didn't mean to. And I'm totally validating. And it's like, that's literally impossible. There's no neighborhood like that in America.
No.
Same thing. Bo didn't just forget how to sell pest control. So often managers and leaders, they feel like they have to be their friend and comfort them. But it's like, no rep agrees to come out and work with you because they want you to be, like, nice and be their friend and comfort them and validate the bad story that they're telling themselves. They come out and they work with you because they want to be held accountable when they do start to falter. And so, yeah, like, it really just depends. Like, with every rep, it's different. And it also comes down to, like, knowing your people. Like, there's some reps, like my little brother that calls me. This is actually a crazy story. I remember my little brother called me his first 2 weeks ever knocking doors, bagels until 8 p.m.
Yeah.
He's calling me, lump in the throat, verge of tears.
Yeah.
We've all been there. And he's like, dude, I really feel like I can't sell anyone. Well, he's a rookie. It's his first 2 weeks. And I felt like I just had to, like, give him a story that he could believe. And I asked for forgiveness later on this one.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, Braden, this is crazy. I log into his pest routes. I'm like, dude, do you see these 2 yellow pins that just popped up in your neighborhood? Dude, for whatever it is, like, I just got these warm leads. I just got a couple, like, warm leads. And, dude, I think if they're home, I think you will sell them. And this is, like, a risky one. I just dropped 2 yellow pins on 2 random houses.
Yep.
I'm like, Braden, just go give it a shot. Like, don't give up. Please don't give up. And crazy enough, he literally ended up selling both of those houses.
Wow.
And there's no warm leads. I literally just told him that, and he believed that there were warm leads, and he could sell them, and he had what it took. And I told him after, I'm like, hey, I totally lied to you. But, like, Brent, you're so capable of going out and selling tons of accounts. Yeah. So with every rep, it's a little bit different. But sometimes, like, with someone like Bo, it's like, Bo, you've sold 16K in one day. Bo, you have sold 60 accounts in 1 week. You trying to tell me that you can't sell pest control is, like, one of the craziest things in the entire world. You're actually one of the best in the country at selling pest control.
Yeah.
So, and there's just all these different little things, but the most important thing is you cannot be their friend in this moment. You have to be their leader.
Yeah. And, dude, to that point, like, I feel like one of your superpowers is maybe the fact that you can just tell when you have really good social awareness, and you can just tell what people need and what they need to hear. I feel like that's, like, inherently a harder skill that most people don't have. What are some key indicators you look at in people to figure out, like, what do they actually need? Because, like, an example of this is you see someone walk into the morning meeting and they look dazed and they look tired and they look, honestly, you look at them and you're like, you're going to bagel today. Like, you can just feel it.
For sure.
Like, what are those things that you're looking for? And, like, when you find someone like that, how are you trying to, like, shake the bottle and get them, like, totally fired up?
Yeah, the way that I'm thinking about it, it's like, where can I look for warnings that a rep is, like, not where they want to be?
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden, like, someone's usually typically, like, active in the team chat and they're high energy, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, dude, I haven't seen a message from that rep all week.
Yeah.
Oh, or all day or yesterday. Oh, I should probably, like, call that rep and see what's going on. They walk into morning meeting and they just look like they've been hit with a bus. It's like, hey, I might need to put my arm around that kid and just, like, tell him today's going to be okay. Other things like that, I just think it really comes down to, like, knowing your people, but also, like, I feel like my reps know that I care about them so much, and I'm so clear and I communicate, like, hey, dude, there's going to be the hard days and you're going to keep pushing on. But, dude, if it ever gets to a point where you need me, please call me. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, I'm not, like, too busy for you. I'm available. I'm open to talk. Like, that is my job, is you succeeding. So at any point, if you feel like, dude, like, I really need Preston right now, dude, please call me. And I think reps just know that I'm available and I'm going to put them before whatever else is going on in my day.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of managers have like this weird relationship with their reps where the reps actually they're like, yeah, I think my manager like loves me and cares about me. But like you say it with such certainty. I think my reps know that like I love them and that's why they're willing to come to me. How do you help your reps know that you love them, that you care about them?
Yeah, there's like this saying, it's like people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. There's just like the little things, like they show up in the summer and it's like, I'm going to have like a one-on-one with hopefully every single one of my reps, and we're not going to talk about door-to-door sales, and we're not going to talk about 3 feet up and 3 feet out. I'm going to ask about like their family. Yeah. I'm going to ask about their goals, dreams, and ambitions. Hopefully I've done that before the summer as well, but I'm going to try to get to know them on like a personal level. I'm going to know like what fuels them, what fires them up, what scares them, all the things. I think when people just know, like, feel like you care enough to like know what fires them up and their goals and their ambitions and why they're doing this job, I think there's just like a lot of trust that's built right there. Also, I think more than anything, like if you're just a leader that like they can like look up to, and I can't say that I'm perfect by any means, but I feel like I always strive to like, I've heard multiple reps say, dude, it's crazy. I've never heard you say anything negative. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like maybe that's part of the reason why. I don't know, like, or how hard I work, or it's like.
Definitely matters.
It's just like, oh, I'm willing to take the phone call at 1 a.m. To help the struggling rep. What I don't really know, to be completely honest. I think it's just effort.
Yeah. Dude, that's such, like, you hit the nail on the head. It's like, dude, it really is effort. And, like, when you boil it down, what is being a good leader? It's just relentless effort of, like, care and helping people understand that you're there for them. Dude, a lot of the effort that comes into, like, what we do in the job is done in the general's tent. Like, you prepare probably more than anyone I've ever met when it comes to having a summer plan, even before the summer, identifying what potential concerns are. Dude, run these guys through, like, you are talking to the managers of a team right now, and it's April, it's May, and they came into the summer with no blueprint of what it was going to look like. Just, hey, I'm going to try my best and put out fires as they come up. Mm-hmm. How are you helping them come up with a blueprint in the next 3 minutes on how May, June, July, August need to look? Like, what are some tips that you can give those guys?
Yeah, I feel like especially at the beginning of the summer, it's super important that they're getting like nourishment on like how to actually sell pest control. Because if they don't know how to sell pest control, Ryan Jenkins like talked about this yesterday, but he's like, if they don't know how to sell pest control, but then you do a fun Friday and you take them bowling, well, all of a sudden
the needle.
It's not moving the needle because they don't know how to sell pest control, and that's like why they're out there. Yep. So I think the beginning of the summer, it's so important that these reps like know the fundamentals of how to go out and actually sell pest control. Whether that's pricing and program, whether that's making sure they know their switch over pitch. And then it's like there are going to be reps that are slow learners, and it's like making sure you put your arm around them, and it's like, hey, if this takes us 3 weeks to get your switch over down, we're going to make sure we get it down in May. That way you can switch over lots of accounts June, July, and August. So I think that's like where people are so fired up at the beginning of the summer. They have like all these goals and ambitions, and like it's not too late in the summer. They haven't given up yet by any means. So they're fueled. They just have to learn how to sell. And you have to exhaust every effort to get them how to sell. And if you feel like you're struggling to teach your reps how to sell, call someone. Yeah. Call your regional.
Ask for help.
Call some other team lead that's like doing it successful. It's like call Zach Kinzel, call Parker Anderton, call me, whatever it is. Call someone that can help you learn how to teach someone else how to sell pest control. Then moving into like June, July, and August, it's like, okay, well, then June, they're starting to pick it up. So that's when you're helping the rep understand. And I actually just talked to Bo about this whole principle. It's like, well, okay, well, their skill is at an all-time low at the beginning of the summer. So now slowly it's June, and their skill is actually increasing a little bit. But what happens is a lot of reps, their will starts to drop. Or maybe in June they're starting to sell 2 accounts a day, but all of a sudden they put themselves in this box, and it's like almost July, and they're still only selling 2 accounts a day. Well, they put themselves in this box, so now they're just like not working as hard, and their willpower is dropping. Where no, like that's just not how it works. Like you're gonna keep getting better in June, and you're gonna keep getting better in July, and you're gonna keep getting better in August. And guess what? If you keep your work ethic and your willpower at an all-time high, you got to help the rep understand. If you're selling 2 a day in May, you should sell 3 to 4 a day in June. And if you're selling 4 a day in June, you should sell 5 a day in July. And when you explain this to a rep, they understand that principle of like, oh, that like actually makes sense. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to hold you accountable.
Yeah, and it kills the complacency because sometimes when you go from like, this is always the analogy I give, when you go from making no money to like really good money,
Yeah.
you spend it like an idiot because you're like, I've never had this before. And so like, and then you start getting really complacent with the money you're making. That's what I see. Like I do recruiting meetings and these guys are like, well, I'm making $30 an hour. It's like, okay, well, what happened in 5 years when you're still making $30 an hour, you're going to be stoked? And they're like, no, definitely not. It's like, okay, then like we got to switch something up.
For sure.
And so I feel like it's that way in the summer too. Once they're selling 2 a day, they finally got off this bagel island of like, oh my gosh, like the weight is off my shoulders. I'm finally selling consistently. And they fall into that pit of complacency right there. What does the conversation look like when you're like trying to get someone out of that?
Yeah, I think it's just like helping them understand. It's like you could finish your June, July, and August like this. Is that actually what you want? And none of them actually want that. I'm like, okay, do you want to like coast and get complacent? And do you want to finish here? Most reps are going to be like, no.
Yeah.
But they need to be held accountable because naturally they will just falter to like coasting and they're not going to strive to get the best out of themselves. Yeah. It takes someone holding them accountable. It's like, dude, you are capable of so much more. Like you need to go out and actually do that. And then I think in July and August, that's when you can pull out all the stops. That's when you slam competitions. That's when you're doing Throwdown Thursday. And if you lose, you're eating a cricket or, you know, getting an egg smashed over your head. And you add in like all these fun, exciting, different things. Hey, all of a sudden, if we sell X amount of accounts today, like I will buy food for everyone. Like you throw in all the little like frosting and sprinkles and all the extra stuff in July and August. And that helps people get there. But yeah, that's kind of what I'd say.
But you can't put frosting or sprinkles on a cake that was baked with no eggs because it's still going to taste like garbage.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like unless they know how to sell, unless they already have that belief, unless you've prepared before the summer to like put out these fires, like you're basically just smothering these fun Throwdown Thursdays on like hot garbage, and then it
100%.
And then it still doesn't go well.
Yeah.
So, dude, I think like I'm biased. You started at the Grit.
Yeah.
You were at the Grit homegrown, so you saw like you've been in multiple different offices. But like I don't know, maybe you have, but you know I've been in offices in my first 2 years where it was like stuff got stale come June and July.
Yeah.
Like it got hard to want to keep going, and that's like we call it like the July scaries because it's like May you're excited, you just come off the high of Memorial Day, and that carries you about halfway into June, and then you're like, wow, I still have 2 months to go. And maybe you're not pacing, which most of the time you aren't because it's a ramp, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you're not pacing. Maybe you're not feeling great. Like, how do we break up that monotony? Like, you're talking to an elite rep, a Bo Barbin, like you said, in July, who's at 400K, or before July, he's at 400K, and he's like, dude, I don't even know if I can sell. That monotony is, like, really, really hard. Yeah. What are, like, some technical things that you do or that you've done in the past to, like, make it fun and, like, bring back energy?
Yeah, I think it's just like going above and beyond. Like AI is such a blessing.
True.
So like all of a sudden it's like you can make the craziest like trainings and analogies, like something that we would always talk about, especially like in July, we talk about like, okay, like we're going to go and we're going to deal ourselves 11 on Saturdays. Both spouses are home. Nobody's working. Mm-hmm. People are outside. Saturday is like the best day to sell. So then we have like this casino analogy and blackjack analogy of like, oh, deal yourself an 11. Learned this from Drew. And it's like, okay, what's an 11? People that are outside in their yard. Yep. People that are clearly home, both garages open, they're playing with their kids in the yard. Whatever it is, like, don't waste your time knocking people's doors that aren't home. But yeah, we trained on go deal yourself an 11, and then all of a sudden it's like in the chat, pre-make all the pictures of my reps at a casino, and the chips are flying everywhere, and they're sitting next to Donald Trump, or they're sitting by someone else, and as soon as they get a deal by dealing themselves an 11, we send it in the chat. Like, you just have to put effort and make it fun and make it exciting.
People want a deal because they're like, I want to see what my picture
they're like,
looks like.
I want to see who I'm sitting with at the table.
Do I have Harambe next to me? I've got, the host of GMM next to me.
100%.
I love that. That's so sick. So Here's kind of where I want to like take the next, or I guess the last like 5 to 10 minutes and chat. Dude, narratives. Oh, having a hard time speaking. Narratives, creating narratives. Dude, your summer offices have been some of the most insane I've ever seen. And it's not like come out in a costume and get the boys riled up for one day. It's like premeditated 4-month plan.
Yeah.
Last year, for context, Preston set up the whole office, put a gong in there, like smoke machine, all this stuff, and everybody got assigned like an egg. And correct me if I'm wrong. You're more than welcome to jump in on it. But it's like everybody got an egg, and then on Memorial Day they hatched. And they hatched into these baby dragons.
Oh, yeah.
And most people would stop there. And that's where it's like, okay, momentum. It's all the hype. They're super excited up until Memorial Day. And then that's kind of where it drops. You had them continue to evolve and evolve and evolve until August. Like, how do you think of these stories or like these creations? And like, how sacred is running a team to you for you to put all that time into like ensuring that these people, when they wake up in the middle of June, and they bageled the day before, and they do not want to come to the morning meeting, you give them something to look forward to.
Yeah. I think it's because I do this job because I love it. And if I'm going to go and I'm going to do this job, like I'm going to make it fun. I'm going to make it exciting. I'm going to make it like my work of art. And it's like, yeah, sure. Like maybe it's like honestly too much at times. It's like we baked out this 4-month plan, they're eggs and then baby dragons and then drakes. And then they turn into these war dragons and then it's competition season. And it's like the whole thing on top of that, at certain dates, they get these little, it's like almost like baseball cards with like their specific dragon, and it like they all look different and they're unique to them.
So cool.
Yeah, and I think it's just because like I want to go out and I want to enjoy this experience as well, and that's like makes it fun and that makes it exciting to me. But then yeah, it's just like all of a sudden they're not thinking about it's July and I want to be home and I have to knock doors for like 7 more weeks. It's like, holy cow, I can't wait to see what like my War Dragon looks like.
Yeah.
I can't wait to torch this team in the Rumble. And it's like they're thinking about all of these things rather than like anything negative. It's like we're only focusing on positive things. We're only focusing like on our story. And I think like it even goes back to this. It's like, yeah, running a team is so sacred because you're literally responsible for people's like lives. And I'm such a firm believer that going out and being with the right group of people and being on a team, like people's lives can be changed forever. And we've seen that. So yeah, like I don't take it lightly, and yeah, it like means everything.
Yeah. Because there's so many managers, and a lot of people are going to listen to this, and maybe you look at your own manager, maybe not. Maybe your manager does really, really well, but they're not knocking, and they're dropping people off, and then they've got the phone calls, or they've got the meetings, or the wife is doing this, or whatever it may be. And there's all these reasons why they can't show up as a leader. You're not the kind of guy that you've had to like necessarily lead from the front in personal production, but you lead from the front every single day in effort. Like, talk to the listeners about what that's like. Like, how can a manager who maybe has graduated from this whole leading from the front in personal production, age era of their life, now they're in this island of their brand new manager, they're not knocking, so they're supplementing their income just by like leading, and they think they're doing the things right. What are the things that they're probably missing, even though they think they're doing a lot of stuff right? What are like the things that you see a lot of managers miss on?
Yeah, I see them. I mean, a lot of things. I feel like, I don't know, the way that I view it, it's not like, oh, dude, I want to get off the doors, or I want to stop knocking, or I want to, all the things. It's like, I looked these reps in the eyes and I'm like, I'm going to do everything in my power for you to succeed. Yeah. And every single year that's looked really different. There's been the years where it's like I go out and I knock and I give my everything, whether it's like knocking doors and knocking late, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden we're running this team in Portland, and it's like Corbin is selling 9 to 10 accounts a day. Bo is selling 8 to 10 accounts a day. We have Lawyer Driggs selling like 7 to 10 accounts a day. And then it's like we have so many other vets selling at such a high level. It's like, is it actually going to move the team's needle if I go out and throw a 4-bomb up every day? Yeah. I have no idea. I realize probably not. There are people leading from the front in work ethic and attitude as far as like knocking doors. Yep. Where can I add value? I'm going to drive out all the struggling reps every single day, and I'm going to shadow them on the doors. And then all of a sudden the kid, his girlfriend just broke up with him. He's on pace to have an amazing summer though. It's like, yeah, I'm going to, I'll drop off a Gatorade. I'll make sure he's doing okay. I'll design all the competitions. I'm going to just add as much effort and input into things where I feel like there's a gap and there's a void for example, this last summer in Cleveland, Jacob Griffith is out there setting the pace, and a lot of these other vets, where it's all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're like short-staffed on techs. Okay, well, get my tech license. Next thing you know, I teched like 340 jobs last summer. And it's like, I just run morning meeting, drive the rookies out, tech their jobs. It's like, I just do whatever it takes to make sure that people are getting to as close to where they want to go as possible. And it looks different every year.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's like knowing your role and then executing on that role at the highest level.
Yeah.
Because everyone's role is different.
For sure.
Not everyone's a golden door rep, right?
Yeah.
Not that you can't do it. I bet if you put your mind to it, you totally could. Actually, I'm really confident you could because you're actually really good at this job. But that's just not where you're needed. And so you found where you're needed, and you provide the most value in that way.
100%.
In wrapping up and kind of like in conclusion here, dude, this podcast like is so sacred to a lot of reps. They're gonna listen to this on their way out to area. Maybe it's April, maybe it's May, maybe they find out about this podcast in June, July, August. And if that's you, we'd love to have you. I'm glad that you're listening. Those reps, they're obviously looking outside for intel, for resources. You can tell they're hungry. And probably a lot of people that are listening to this one are those managers that are like, dude, my team is kind of going through the ringer right now, and I actually really do care. I just lack the actual like tangible skills or like maybe the knowledge of what I should be doing to get my team revived and get them back out there.
Mm-hmm.
Every single team falls into a slump. Every single team has this moment. Maybe it's a bad week, maybe it's a bad month, whatever. Maybe it's just a bad day. How do you bounce back from those and reinstill belief? Because it's easy to instill belief in April and May when guys are already hungry and they're ready to get after it. How do you reinstill belief into an entire team midsummer, end of summer, right before a big competition? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I think ultimately it's like I'm not married to the revenue. I'm not married to a certain amount of counts every day from an individual perspective and also from like a team perspective. And when the team is like not married to the revenue, but the team is actually married to the standard, well, guess what? It is like actually not in my control how many people sign up every day. It's also not in my control how many people the team signs up every day. Yep. It is in my control if the team is working towards a standard. It's like, are we going to outwork every single team? Are we going to have a better attitude than every other team? Are we going to tell ourselves a better story than all these other teams? Are we going to go yard more than all these other teams?
Yeah.
And when you're actually committed to that standard, all of a sudden it's like, well, yeah, like the revenue and the accounts and the big days and small, like that's going to fluctuate. But if the standard stays the same, you will bounce back, you will stay consistent, and you will get really close to where you want to go by the end of the summer.
Wow. Well, so Preston, first off, so many nuggets. Like actually, I can tell you're just in your flow right now. You're so comfortable, swaggy, vibey, Preston.
Try.
Dude, the people want to work with you. Where can they find you?
Just Instagram or text. But yeah, Preston on Instagram.
Preston. And what's your parting thought to leave with these? Again, a lot of people that listen to this, there might be some reps that are going through and they're struggling. But dude, this one, let's say this one's for the managers. This one's for the people who have people counting on them. What's your elevator pitch to them on like how sacred their job is and how do you get those guys fired up?
Yeah, I think it's like I still go out and I have insecurities every summer. Am I actually the man for the job? Am I actually the person that can go out and change someone's lives? And whether you have the school skills and the tools necessary, the crazy thing is you don't need the right skills. You don't even need the tools. You don't need like the right, all the things. As long as you go and you give it your everything and you believe that, wow, if I give my everything, I will go out and I will change lives, then you totally will.
Love it. Preston, dude, thank you so much for being here. If people were listening and they were actually taking notes, like there's so many gold nuggets you can take away from that.
Thank you.
It's been amazing to listen to you speak. That's another episode of Good Morning Meeting. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and check us out again next week for even more content.